Good morning, everyone.
Hello.
How are you?
I am good. Excuse my voice. I am recovering from, that change of season cold, that early summer, late spring kind of cold, and also my light lifestyle fun. So,
I completely understand. I've been there before. So, you are my very first guest. It's been a long time since I've been back doing this.
oh my gosh, yay. And how are you feeling since?
I am good. So, today we're going to talk about your career path to photography.
Okay, cool, 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 cool. What? Yeah, I'm sorry. My voice. All right.
So, what brought you to the table of photography?
uh, I wouldn't say what it brought to me is more like it just dropped at my front door. So in high school, I was actually in the tech crew, but I was also in the anime club. So I was in two different clubs, and for a pep rally, I was with like my tech crew getting ready to see any audio needs to be set up, um, if anything needs to be taken care of. And I just so happened that the administrator that ran that club um, had a Canon camera. I forgot what model it was, but it was a Canon camera. It was very heavy. And I was like, okay, it's a very expensive camera. And, I just started taking pictures and getting everything situated. And as nervous as I was, there was some pictures that came out good. And I was like, oh, I, this looks cool. I should, keep doing this. So
Mm-hmm.
when I graduated high school, a month after I graduated, I went to the Art Institute of Washington. And then my first year, first
Uh oh. Can you hear me? Oh no.
year,
Okay, here we go.
but from 20 from 2010 to now, I've just been taking pictures since then.
That's what's up. How do you like go across? How do you market yourself and everything?
See, here's the thing: I'm not great at that, so I'm still learning how to
Mm-hmm.
market myself. What I will say is, I have an amazing support system from family to the closest friends to coworkers. I share my work on Facebook and Instagram, and the good thing about it is that when they see my work, they're like, "Oh my god, I have to have you do this graduation." I think for me it's like getting your social media out and being as proactive as um, also very informative of what you do, how you conduct your business, how you conduct, you know, how you want the photos to be done, what's the occasion, what's the establishment that is happening before, what is it for, so that way you give a specific detail of how you want everything to be put together. So for me, marketing is it's very important. I'm still working on it, but it's very, very important.
Do you people usually reach out to you if they want, they, want you for some type of, program or any type of, special event?
I would get that, or I'll get messages from high school friends or closest people I know that someone wants a photo shoot for this, that, and they need a photographer needed. So I'm always tagged in comments and posts about like photo opportunities, or I'll get messages from people saying, "Hey, I heard you from a mutual friend of mine that you did photos for, and they loved you, and I've been looking forward to pretty much getting these done, and I need your help." So I've always got messages in those lines, or I'll get like word of mouth from there,
Mhm.
or my brothers, or my sisters, especially sisters, and they'll say, "Hey, I talked to you." Like for example, my sister's friend had a birthday about 2 years ago, and my sister was like, "Hey, hit up Nadja. She's a photographer, and I can, get everything situated." And I went with them to like a winery, took pictures for their birthday. The photos came out really good. It was just great to know these are people in my life that's like, all right, my sister's good at this, and I want to get her out there. I want to make sure she
Mhm.
gets all the credit, all the opportunity needed.
Hey, it's always good to have a good, support system because, you want to, have that confidence in yourself. It gives you more confidence, when you got people behind you.
Exactly. And the thing with networking nowadays is like, it's one thing to do it on your own and try to build everything on your own, but there's nothing more efficient and more clean when you have a support system, especially a system that have seen you grow from when you first to where you are now, because they're seeing, okay, she's getting better at saturation, she's getting better at how she aims her focus, the type of angles that she wants, the type of contrast, and making sure that she's getting these photos done in a certain amount of time. Because the thing with me is that I'm always doing my best to get every photo that I take out there in a quickly manner. That way, that person can feel like, oh my gosh, she delivered it right there. I was able to take my photos. I was able to do like showcase not only me feeling beautiful, but this person who did this photo for me is able to capture exactly how I want it.
Is there like a certain type of camera that you use, or you just use, I guess whatever you can get?
At first, so my very first camera was the Canon. Oh my god, now that I can't, it's been so long. My very first camera was actually a Canon, and it was given to me from the school. But when I switched from that to the Canon Rebel T79 to now, I have a Sony 86, 86,000, which is like a very first mirrorless camera. It still holds up because it's one of the few first mirrorless cameras that was put out there before it became a huge thing now. So I have that now that I brought from my photographer mentor. Shout outs to Harry Crawford, and I've been using it since then. And I've always there are times when I'll use other people's cameras,
Mhm.
like a nice or a Fiji, but Sony for me is my absolute favorite now because you get quality color from the photos. Meaning like the color of a person's hair is going to be very bright, bold, saturated. And then most people start with Canons because it's a beginner camera. and it gets a person from point A to point B. Nikons and Fijis are a whole nother level because the way they set their um, features and equipments are totally different from Nikons and Canons and Sony's. Each camera has a very different feature for how you could get this feature taken, nightlife, portraits, landscapes, studio shots is very, very different. For me, Sony is very simple. Canon is very simple. They're both simple, straight to the point. Sony is just way more bright when it comes to how you want your photos to capture that feel of like, oh my gosh, that orange is super bright and super
Mm-hmm.
illuminating your face. That purple is very good color. Very great with color.
How do you get them in? I guess maybe sometimes in color or maybe like in black and white.
So I do it in two ways. I can shoot it in black and white on my camera. So black and white is for us. It's called monochrome. That's another word for black and white. But people just say black and white, but we know exactly what it's called. It's called monochrome.
Mm-hmm.
So I would shoot it in monochrome and just edit it from there. Or I can shoot in color. But if the photo turns out better in black and white on Lightroom or Photoshop, I can just switch that to black and white and just fix up my shadows and fix up my exposure and make sure that it's not too dark but yet not too bright. Find that balance within the middle and make sure you get. For me, I make sure I get details in the type of makeup, the type of fabric, how the person is posing, how the light is hitting, where the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
That way, I'm not overbearing them with shadow, but I'm not um, exposing them too much with light.
Have you had any type of mishaps during the photo shoot that everything wasn't going according to plan, but it still turned out great?
Oh, um, I've been thinking about it. Most of my mishaps are in the beginning because I'm
Mm-hmm.
just starting out. You're going to make mistakes in the beginning. But for me, I would say the one I can think of was a wedding. And so FYI, I normally don't do weddings. The last wedding I did was back in 2021. I want to say 2021. Yeah, it was 2021. And the camera that I had, my SD card was messing up. The
Oh.
lighting at was so dark, and it was also hot. So I was dealing with a hot location, SD card messing up, also with the lights around me too, making sure I try to get everybody in the same photo.
Mm-hmm.
Some people wanted photo look a certain kind of way, and you trying to work with them, but then I'm also working off a hunt. And they're also hungry. They're trying to get through this wedding. They're trying to get through this, like, they got to get everything
Right.
together one special day. But what I ended up doing was I always had an extra SD card. So what I did was I made sure I bought another SD card, which I did. I test my environment. So I would take a picture of the room. It'll be empty. That way I know exactly how do I want these photos to come out, which they came out great, which I'm thankful for. It is just that weddings are very, people don't talk about this. Weddings are very high end, but it's very stress detailed
Oh yeah.
because when you're trying to capture a very special moment for two people that are coming together as one, there's a lot that come into it. That's why photographers charge X amount of money because they're spending a lot on their time the wedding dress and the suits to groomsmen, bridesmaids, the location, flowers, cake, food, the we charge that high because the quality that you want for your wedding, when it comes to everything else, your photos have to match that. Your videos that you get a videographer for has to match those things.
Yeah,
For me,
a
it's
lot
so
goes
important
into that.
because you have to have a lot goes into that because you have to have every wedding has to have at two photographers and two videographers at least because every moment has to be captured. But the thing with every moment is sometimes there's a big old break and you want to keep capturing the same things. But if it happens to have a big moment, that's what you capture it. Because one photographer can get it from this angle, and another photographer can get it from a further angle. So if there's a photo that both husband and wife are getting, it has to be up to the quality that they need. So I would say that would be one moment. And then I went to a little photo a not a little a photo event called Portrait in DC, and it was like in Northeast DC. And I kid you not, I borrowed my brother's camera that he left in my car, which do not leave. I'm gonna tell you why, but don't ever leave your very expensive cameras in your car. And
Hmm.
then because I was shooting and the photos were amazing. I was like, yes, these photos are gorgeous and blah, blah. But when I went back to look for these photos, I couldn't see them. So the reason
Oh
why,
no.
yeah, I couldn't see them. So come to find out, when you leave your camera in the car, the weather can actually affect your SD card to where your card can no longer be read when trying to pull it up. So if you're ever out and you're shooting and you're very tired, you try to go home, grab your equipment. Do not leave your camera in the car because your SD card will get affected. I learned that the hard way. I, I still cry many nights thinking about that because
Oh God.
it's like I can't get the photos that I want because of that. And always format your photos before you start any of the new thing. Before you start,
Hmm.
format. That way you have enough space. And once you put everything onto your hard drive, format it, clean it off. That way you have enough space for a new set of photos to do.
If you could, speak to your younger self, how would you explain to them about getting into photography?
Ha 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 ha. My younger self, shy. Uh, I would tell her that mm, mm, what I would tell her is that what you're seeing in the world, people need to see. It's okay to show that side because I'm so used to when I was younger, I was very reserved. I was extremely shy.
Hmm.
Photography has brought that side out of me because it would it would just show like, hey, this is how I'm looking at things. This is what I'm looking at. This is what I see. Y'all should see this too. It's not just me that is looking at the world as an anime. But that's how I see the world. I see the world as a very interesting, realistic anime, kind of like the Boondocks. But that's how I capture it. Every photographer captures their used differently. I like to see it as this is the moment that people take for granted. Don't take anything you capture for granted. So I was having to learn myself to stop holding yourself back and go ahead and like get your hand on the camera and just feel good in what you capture.
Hey, because you never know, what the future will bring.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because I always tell myself, you know, I wish I knew what I knew now back then. Maybe I'd be in a different position, but that's not how the world works.
No, not at all. And the thing that I know for me, I am very critical on myself a lot, which stops my chances of just relaxing and just taking a breather and just taking it in that there's seconds in a day, live every second in that day. But I'm very critical when it comes to my photos because I want to make sure that it is like marvelous, like chef, like French kiss, like chef's kiss, awesome. But at the end of the day, I also have to understand that I was working with what I had.
Hmm.
I don't have to have people's. And here's the thing about I want to give this advice to beginners as well. You work with what you got. You don't have to have the latest camera or the latest lenses to get you started. Get you started with something small and then work your way up. Because what you can do with what you have can still capture great photos. You don't have to have the latest Nikon, the latest Canon, the latest Leica. Have if you have a good eye of it, then you will be able to still get the shots that make people be like, oh gosh, these shots are beautiful. These shots are amazing. You have to have your eye.
Okay, I want to, before I wrap it up, I got 5 questions. This is 5 random questions.
Okay.
First question is, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
If I could live anywhere in the world, oh gosh, there's top three places I can think of right now. But my very first one would be Panama. So I am Panamanian on my dad's side of the family, and I've never been to Panama in my entire life. But I've always heard amazing things about Panama, and that the house that my grandfather grew up in is still up, it's still nice and beautiful. So I will live there to get the feel of like what my grandparents went through, my uncle and dad, what they went through, and just feel the environment of Panama. Next would be actually Tokyo.
Hmm.
So I'm a big anime fan, and Tokyo is so at night. I will go outside at night and capture the bright lights, the um, environment of seeing people walking, getting some ramen, some some food. Like I would live in Japan to capture the nightlife. But for calm and for peace, and to see the seasons change, I will actually live in Amsterdam. People don't
Hmm.
really look into Amsterdam. Amsterdam has great landscape.
I would have never thought of Amsterdam.
And see, there you go. That's why I said Amsterdam.
All right, the second one. What is your biggest pet peeve?
I made a video about this. I'm like, yeah, I think I think it's good. I don't have much of a pet peeve, but in photography, I have a lot of pet peeves, which is hilarious. But my main one is when people edit over our edits. Meaning, if I spend hours editing one photo, getting rid of
Mm-hmm.
all the blemishes, getting rid of any random stuff that was in the background that I photoshopped out, if I fixed any, if there is anything that needs to be singed or sharpened and everything, right? And then I go onto I send you your photos, and then I go onto your Instagram, and you put a filter
Oh, that's
on
just messing
top.
it all up.
Yeah, and then you put a filter on top, on top of my edit, and you even then you just wasted my time. Because mind you, you paid me to edit everything that
Mm-hmm.
you, and then show you the photos before. Here's the thing: I show you the photos before I post them. Once I show you the photos, you have access to your photos. But once I show you the photos and you post it, that's when I post. But if you put a filter or edit any more stuff over my edit, then messes up. That messes me up because it's like that's not how I edited your photo. Like you made your photo extra more dark, extra more purple, more grayish, and I was like, that is not how I did it. That is a pet peeve. That is my biggest pet peeve.
Like,
Is
shoot, that would be completely defeat the purpose of me, you know,
it's
editing the picture for you. Let's see.
exactly. I would spend days editing several photos to your liking just for you to put a filter over it. I can't stand it.
What would be the title of the book about you if your enemy wrote it?
Ah, ah, ah. Oh man. Uh, um, it I don't, it depends on the person. It would. I would say the title would be "The Woman That Ghosted Me" because I'm not great with text messages.
Mm-hmm.
I'm yes, but that is because I'm either do something that require attention, or if I'm around someone and they require my attention, my phone, or I'll just be on social media just streaming. I'll see a message and I'll be like, mm, cool, cool, cool. Or I just put my phone down and generally just be to myself. But I think the reason why I would say the woman that ghosted me, it would be a great title. When people want to do stuff with me and to my liking, or I just don't feel like going out, I will not respond. And that is so terrible to me because it's like, I don't need to not respond. But at the same time, what you're asking me to do is come out of my house
Oh yeah.
to go somewhere, to go somewhere and spend $100 some dollars. just for an hour or two, just to go back home. I could save that money chilling at home. I could buy groceries, cook up some food, or Uber some food and chill in my space. So I would say that would be a great title. The woman that ghosted me. That would be a great title.
What is your favorite childhood memory?
My parents had raised 6 kids and worked extremely hard to make sure that we had a roof over our head, clothes on our backs, food in our stomach. I remember growing up, my parents, like, not every weekend, but whenever, I would say there's certain weekends where we would go house hunting. And my parents would always say, you gotta have a big house with this many rooms, this many bathrooms for the kids, so that they can see, like, if they work really hard, this could be yours. And every time we go to like an open house, we will always like look around the house, have a beautiful kitchen, a beautiful stairs, a man cave. My dad loves a man cave. Um, and we will always be like, oh my gosh, this could be my room. This could be my room. This could be, family room. We can have friends over and play. And it's a nice neighborhood. My parents, especially my father, works worked extremely hard for us to where we are currently. And each day I always find ways to show my dad and pay him back the dues owed, that he is owed to, because he deserved those dues.
Hmm.
Even if it's small or big, I still find ways to make sure I take care of my responsibilities, take care of my anything that needs to be taken care of, and still make my dad proud regardless of my ups and downs. Still make my dad proud. So I would say my favorite childhood memory would be just to see the dreams that my parents wanted. So that would be.
That's cool. That's very, very cool. All right. Got the last one. If you could, matter of fact, if you had to eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I am a big fan of seafood. I love me a seafood boil. I love me some crab legs, some crawfish, some shrimp, some lobster, sausages, eggs. I am a huge seafood person. I just love seafood. But I will also eat barbecue. No one
It,
talks about Korean barbecue.
I don't know why. I love me some Korean barbecue.
Korean, if you okay, my thing is for me, if you're ever in Maryland, go to Iron Age. Iron Age has the best Korean barbecue in my. There is this food called Hawaiian bulgogi, which is bulgogi flavored with pineapple.
Hmm.
That will be the only time I'll ever say pineapple goes with something, because I've always said that pineapple never goes on pizza, which I still stand to this day. But pineapple,
No, it
bulgogi,
doesn't. Nope. No, it does not. I don't believe in it either.
not at all. But bulgogi and pineapple works great. But there's also a place in Rockville that does K-pop. So it's Korean barbecue, but they also give you like miso soup, lobster balls, all kinds of um, all kinds of food. I love Asian food, especially like Japanese food, Korean barbecue. So between seafood and Korean barbecue and sushi, I will eat on a daily basis for the rest of my life. I would, and I'll be all right.
Good choices. I love Korean barbecue. Well, that wraps up our little interview for today. I really appreciate you for coming on and everything, and taking time out of your busy schedule to help me out today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you. It's been a long time coming, and I'm sorry that I'm not to you the best of my ability to you.
Oh no, no, you're fine. It's okay. I'm just happy that you came through.
Thank you. I'm so glad. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. See you later.
See ya.